She-Hulk, episode 7. We're still in the car, but I have my actual camera this time. I liked this one a lot. I thought it was probably the best one so far. So we open with a sort of romantic comedy style sequence of Jen going on dates with cute boy from the wedding episode. Josh is his name. I remembered because they said it a lot. Which is a really fun sequence. Number one, finally we have some friggin' romance in the Marvel Universe. I guess we had some in WandaVision, kind of. But still, one of two things that has romance in it. And that sequence was very stylized. I had this cool opening long shot of Jen going through her morning, and we see her in different parts of the apartment at the same time, which I assume they used her clones for this shot from Orphan is the New Black. Yeah, just very stylish in general. And then of course she ends up hooking up with this guy and sleeping with him, because as we know, She-Hulk fucks.
We're fucking.
And then he ghosts her basically. And we see her anxiety pile up over the next couple days as he hasn't texted her back. And this whole sequence I thought was very stylish. It felt different than the rest of the show. It was shot in interesting ways. They used the Sherlock texting label words coming up and stuff, which I feel has been overdone a little bit, but in this particular episode I feel it worked pretty well. They use it in semi-creative ways. The opening shot was this overhead shot, and the text appears on the floor, and then she walks over it towards her phone. Just way more creative than the show normally looks visually. Good stuff all around. Then we get to what turns out to be the main plot of the episode, where Jennifer gets called up by the what do you call that? The house arrest agent. Because Blonsky's back, he's in this episode. They did set this up earlier. He's running a hippie retreat. I don't know what you call these places. It's a farm hippie commune thing where people go to do group therapy and retreat from their main lives and try to better themselves and work through some of their issues or whatever. Parole officer, that's the word. Jen goes with his parole officer to check up on him because his foot collar thing, I don't know what any of these things are called. Oh no. Is malfunctioning. It turns out to be not an issue. But then this dude Manbull ends up smashing Jen's car, and so now she's trapped for a few hours until the mechanic shows up. Oh my god, I'm having trouble saying normal words. This is gonna be a bad review. I'm sorry. So now Jen ends up in group therapy with these random obscure Marvel characters. There's a bunch of them. I'm not gonna go through all of them because you've never heard of them, I've never heard of them, it doesn't matter. The point is that we get some good character development in this episode. Jen reluctantly ends up in group therapy with these guys, and we get character development stuff. It's basically the farm sequence from Age of Ultron, which is the best sequence. Just a time to break from the main story and go to a farm and do character development. Everything should have a farm. Walking Dead Season 2, people don't like it because they're on the farm the whole time. They're wrong. That's the best season because it's all farm character development. Ninja Turtles, they go to a farm. It's great. Put more people on a farm is my point. We get Jen working through some of her... If she gets this good monologue about her relationship between She-Hulk and Jennifer Walters, and she really liked this dude Josh because he seemed to just like Jen for herself without the tall greenness of her. But then he ghosted her, and so maybe he didn't. And she works through some of those feelings of, hey, in some ways it's kind of fun to be She-Hulk and everyone pays attention to you and stuff, but then I turn back into Jennifer and people don't like me as much. And that kind of hurts, and I kind of wish people would like me for me. And it's this good, really nice sequence of character growth and development and her working through her emotions. It's a good episode. I liked it a lot. With all these other wacky characters and they're going through some stuff. There's a fourth wall joke that I thought worked really well, where one of the guys that's there is the Wrecker from the Wrecking Crew, who we saw for 5 seconds, 6 episodes ago or something. Jen goes, did they previously on him? I don't know. We're going to previously on him again. Fuck it. And she's like, he was one of the assholes who jumped me and tried to take my blood or whatever, like, early on. And it was perfect because I was like, all right, I get it. Previously on, skip. I get it. I've seen the other episodes. I've been paying attention. And he showed up, and I'm like, I don't know who that is. So, hey, it worked. This is a tangent, but that's one thing I kind of like about the Marvel shows is that they have previously ons. Like in WandaVision, one of the episodes, they previously on a scene from Age of Ultron that shows when Quicksilver died because that suddenly became relevant to the plot, and that happened a while ago. And I wish that the movies would do some form of this because there's so many like obscure things that like show up in the movies way later that like honestly they should have done a previously on for She-Hulk all the way back to the Incredible Hulk to set up Blonsky. Yeah, Blonsky's here and he's like reformed and running this like hippie self-care retreat center thing, and he's like obviously a very different character than he was initially in Incredible Hulk. But at least in this episode, I felt like he fit the story they were trying to tell and like served a purpose in Jen's story. So I thought it worked fine. Where in like his earlier episodes, it felt like we got to put him in the show because we set that up in Shang-Chi, and now we have to explain that, so it doesn't not make any sense at all why he showed up for like 5 seconds in that movie. And so now we have to deal with that, and we kind of don't really care about this specific plot line, but it's something we have to do because we set it up in another movie, where this felt like, okay, this is a thing that we want to do to help tell the story we're trying to tell about She-Hulk. So I thought it worked well. Another thing that was good about this episode is it didn't have a dumb, pointless B-plot with Jennifer's friend, Lady, or the like superhero lawyer firm, because it wouldn't have added anything to the episode, so they just didn't have it. And that meant that we got to spend more time with Jennifer Walters' She-Hulk, the main character of the show. And yes, there's not really any lawyering going on in this episode, but that's okay, because there was a lot of character development, and that's the stuff that I like. What else? Oh yeah, at the end of the episode, the mechanic shows up, and it says like Slott's Garage or something, which is obviously a reference to Dan Slott, who did a big run on She-Hulk, which I haven't read yet. I'm going to get to it eventually. I'm still working my way through John Byrne's stuff. And then in case you didn't pick up on that, they also show a shot of his name tag, and his name tag says Dan, so it's Dan Slott. It's not actually the guy playing him, but he is named Dan Slott. They made a big point of showing that it was a reference to Dan Slott, so I'm mentioning it here in case you didn't notice it. They really wanted you to know it was Dan Slott, so now you know. Oh yeah, and then we get a post-credit scene. Well, it's not really, I think it was still before the credits technically, but it felt like a post-credit scene where we find out that cute boy, Josh, he was actually bad, and he's working for the She-Hulk incels, and he's trying to steal her blood or something. I kind of figured something like this would happen because the opening sequence was far too happy, just meaning that it felt like something was going to have to go wrong, because we can't have our characters be too happy, then the show would be boring. That's basically it. I really liked this one. I thought it was solid. It was mostly just character development. It had a lot more style to the like cinematography and the way that it was shot than most of these other episodes. So just good stuff all around. This has probably been my favorite episode so far. But that's it for this one. We'll see you next week. Subscribe. I've been going through every episode of the series as it comes out. So if you want to see when I upload, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell and all that stuff. Also, I did a video on the 90s Incredible Hulk animated series, which heavily features She-Hulk, and I think it's a really fun video. I recommend you check that out if you haven't already. That's it again. Like and share and comment and all those things. That helps me out a lot. We're really close to 500 subscribers, which would mean a lot to me because I'm just doing this for fun because I like doing it. So the fact that many people have considered deciding to subscribe, that means a lot to me. So if we could get to 500 subscribers, that would be fucking awesome. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next week.